Good, happy Sunday evening, January 24, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday evening, so let's begin. First up, we're going to begin with your COVID-19 updates. COVID in New Hampshire, key data, maps, and graphs. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 61,576 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 24,990,360 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 981 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 229 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 382 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire right here where current cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 594. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 8,398. Let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple. Daily new positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, new hospitalization. And red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple. Total current COVID-19 cases. In orange, current hospitalization. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple. Total positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, total hospitalization. Red, deaths. And blue, recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate, positive PCR and antigen test rate, and daily PCR test. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases and female and male of cases. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. New Hampshire health officials answer questions about vaccine registration. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR from... Let's take a listen to that report. Sorry about that, everyone. And here's that report for all of you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my morning news report right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. As 170,000 in New Hampshire register for COVID-19 vaccine, officials answer frequently asked questions about process. State health officials say they're ahead of schedule with the Phase 1B registration process for COVID-19 vaccine, but along the way, there have been some common questions for those signing up. As of Saturday afternoon, about 170,000 people had registered, and 160,000 of them had already received an email to schedule their appointment. But some have been leery of clicking on the link provided in the email to schedule an appointment because the email doesn't come from the state. Instead, the email comes from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and its Vaccine Administration Management System, also known as VAMS. State health officials say that is the correct and safe email. That's a legitimate email, and that email is going to allow you to create an account in that system so you can go ahead and take that next step for scheduling an appointment, said Dr. Beth Daly, Chief of the state's Bureau of Infectious Disease Control. And here is an image of what that email looks like, as you can see. Because of the concerns, the state has sent a separate email with tips to help navigate the process. Another frequent question surrounds registering two people at once. Officials say after you register yourself, you can check the box saying you're bringing another eligible person. When you write in their name, you will only need to make one appointment and simply bring that person with you. People are expecting to be able to schedule both persons, but it's just one appointment, Daly said. You cannot use the same email address for two separate registrations, so if you separately register for someone else and then later try to register for yourself, you'll need to use a different email address or call 211 to schedule the appointment. Some senior citizens have signed up and expressed frustration with the registration and scheduling process. For the folks my age and older who are trying to do it, it needs to be a little more user-friendly, said Robert of Nashua. But not all experiences have been difficult. James and Barbara Graham registered successfully, booked their appointment for Saturday, and have already received their first dose. I was kind of amazed. I thought it would be longer, said Barbara Graham. In about a week, the state is expecting to move to a process where registration and scheduling are all done in one step. And that does it for this morning news report right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another news report. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Sununu orders bridge gap to allow postponement of town elections due to COVID. Let's take a listen to that video right now in that report.
Sununu order bridges gap to allow postponement of town elections due to COVID. Executive order essentially enacts legislation pending in-house, which would also allow pre-processing of absentee ballots for local elections. Governor Chris Sununu on Friday issued an executive order that allows local election officials to pre-process absentee ballots several days before town elections and empowers them to postpone their elections from March to April, May, or June due to concern about COVID-19. The order essentially enacts the provision of a bill that passed the state Senate January 6th. Senate Bill 2 is pending in the House and probably will not be passed by the House until early February. That timing raised the concern of officials in some towns that they will not be left with enough time to set their schedules and procedures for their 2021 town meetings and elections, according to the Sununu order. As a result, while Senate Bill 2 is expected to become law, its previous provisions are now in place to bridge the gap prior to enhancement to provide certainty for the local officials as they plan their elections. The bill essentially extends the allowance for absentee ballot pre-processing that worked successfully during the 2020 September primary and the November general election. The bill, which passed the Senate 24-0, also allows for the postponement of annual town meetings in 2021, where concerns exist during the COVID-19 health emergency. It allows municipality officials to move the meetings back from the second Tuesday in March to the second Tuesday of April, May, June, or July. Sununu's order now does the same and will remain in effect until Senate Bill 2 is enacted. His order says House Speaker Sherman Packard expects the bill to pass the House. The New Hampshire Campaign for Voting Rights praised the executive order for responding to the concerns of local election officials. Today is a victory for local election administrators and Granite Staters. The group said, democracy works better when everyone can safely participate, and by allowing for the pre-processing of absentee ballots, local elections will be smoother for all. And that does it for this news report right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this news report on the Riley King Network. I'm Riley King for reporting to the Riley King Network. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire State Police changes policy to allow trooper candidates to have arm tattoos. Let's take a listen to that video and that report.
New Hampshire State Police changes policy to allow trooper candidates to have arm tattoos. New Hampshire State Police are hoping to encourage recruitment by changing a long-standing policy. The department had a rule that prohibited applicants with arm tattoos, but now such applicants can become state troopers as long as the tattoos are not racist, sexist, or indecent. We've walked some pretty talented people out of our lines and out of the opportunity, mainly on the bias that they had a little ink that would have shown in the short sleeve uniform, said State Police Lieutenant Brandon Davey, commander of the agency's recruitment and training unit. A lot of those tattoos are patriotic, or they're memorials to friends of theirs that they've lost He added. State police will have a team dedicated to ensuring tattoos are not racist, sexist, or indecent. Body ink still won't be permitted on the neck, face, or hands. We do not at this time allow people to have a wedding band tattooed on their hands either, Davy said. Arm tattoos will still be covered by a compression sleeve. In general, local police departments like Manchester, Nashua, and Franklin have reported shortages in staffing and officer applicants due to hours and social issues. They've turned to social media and outreach groups for recruitment. For state police, this is one more way to get creative and expand the applicant pool. We realize that we are making a difficult trade, and it's one that we were not willing to continue to make within a context of recruitment difficulty, Davy said. And that does it for this news report right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this news report on the Riley King Network. I'm Riley King, reporting for the Riley King Network. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Skier rescued from avalanche on Mount Washington. Mountain rangers caution snow conditions around Northeast remains dangerous. Let's take a listen to that video and that report.
The floor model clearance sale is here. Mainly Tubs is discounting all remaining floor model hot tubs with over 50 to choose.
A warning tonight from Mount Washington Avalanche Center after a skier was caught and carried by an avalanche near the top of Left Gully to the floor of the ravine on Friday. Officials say the skier was trying to turn when he was swept into and under moving debris from newly deposited snow. He ended up being buried face down, unable to do anything but raise his head. His friend alerted others that he was missing, and bystanders were able to dig him out. Officials say skiers should read the forecast, take an avalanche class, and carry the proper equipment.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester teen clocked going 95 miles per hour on Route 101, state police say. A Manchester teen is facing reckless driving and other charges after state police say she was traveling at 95 miles per hour along Route 101 in Raymond early Sunday. $20 million doses of coronavirus vaccine have been administered in the U.S. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
To the pandemic, the efforts to vaccinate the nation appearing to make some headway. The U.S. passing the milestone 20 million COVID vaccine doses administered. Operation Warp Speed originally set that goal with hopes of hitting that number by the end of 2020. That didn't happen this morning. There are still frustrations over getting the vaccine and distribution. ABC's Trevor Alt joins us with the latest. Good morning to you, Trevor.
Good morning, Eva. You know, it has been a grueling stretch since Thanksgiving, with just about every coronavirus metric skyrocketing. And this week, with the holiday surge finally starting to cool off, we did see cases, hospitalizations, and deaths begin to fall, but they are still at worryingly high levels.
This morning, coronavirus trends nationwide starting to dip in the right direction, but several states are still seeing the virus spread at alarming rates. California, Erica Cervantes says a dozen mortuaries were too busy to take her father's body. She was shaken by the hospital rooms packed with people just like her father.
These are people that are working to sustain their family, and they're here in the ICU units with ventilators and tubes up their noses because they can't breathe.
And as we fight to contain the virus, it continues to mutate and spread. The UK variant of COVID-19 now detected in at least 23 states, and overnight the University of Michigan halting all athletic activities for 14 days following positive tests for that UK mutation. And scientists in Ohio say a US variant has been circulating since May. Researchers in California say a newly identified strain has been found in more than a third of the cases in Los Angeles.
We need to vaccinate enough people to reach herd immunity before the viral variants mutate and are able to evade vaccine-induced immunity.
Many areas still fighting through a stunted vaccine rollout. Some sites seeing hours-long wait times, others failing to use up all their doses. Berta and Mike Powers have struggled to even get an appointment, only to see that appointment canceled.
The fact of the matter is, what good is a vaccine if it doesn't get into people's arms?
Multiple states now say they're churning through their available doses, and several governors are now urging the federal government to step up distribution.
This shouldn't be the Hunger Games like it was with PPE, right? That was ridiculous, and we all had to play that game.
And now local news outlets are reporting wealthier zip codes, like some in Miami-Dade or Dallas counties, are also some of the most vaccinated, with higher income areas receiving a disproportionately large amount of the vaccine. Many of the people lucky enough to get the shot are trying to urge others to follow their lead. 70-year-old Shirley Kemp received her first dose this week in Florida. She hopes to inspire other seniors to sign up too.
Get up. It's for you. It's for us. It's for the nation.
And the Biden administration is sticking with its goal to manufacture 100 million vaccine doses in 100 days, though there are some questions as to whether even that will be enough. Regardless, the U.S. will have to pick up the pace of administering these shots if life is going to return to normal this year. Dan?
That is so crucial, Trevor. Thank you so much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for joining us for this evening edition. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.